Right, let's get some tea. Hey, hi guys. I'm going to make a video around the difference between living in tourist towns and living in a typically Thai village, really, because I've actually done both.
Hi guys, why wouldn't you want to come to Thailand? Huh? Look at this. Awesome. Come visit.
It's up, Thailand Vloggers, Roy. If you haven't clicked onto his Facebook page, make sure you do. So just check it out, because it may be something really worth doing. So cheers. I'm just going to get a latte going. Stay tuned and see if you like it, and see if you prefer the difference either in a tourist town or a typically Thai. So guys, as I said, I lived for 5 years on Koh Tao. Let's start there. So let me just take you back to 2012. We sold everything in the UK and we moved to Koh Tao. I'm not going to go on about that too much. And we found a little place to rent there. Our friends found us a little place to rent there, and then we moved in a little place, North Sari. So, Koh Tao, very much a tourist island. It's all about scuba diving, really. There's a lot of Western influence there, and we had an abundance of expats, not tourists, abundance of expats that actually lived on Koh Tao. So what do we used to do? I used to scuba dive an awful lot. I'm sure some of you know if you've watched my previous videos. And we'd be out for dinner in most evenings and go to different places to eat and meet people for a drink and dinner, really. And so you had a big expat community there. That helped us sort of integrate into Thailand life as such. But a lot of the businesses there are either they're Thai-run business people from Bangkok, normally there to, you know, make a living, pay the rent, and so like that. And there's an abundance of different Western food, loads of Thai food, but also what you got to think about when you live in a tourist area, then the prices are going to be a little bit more than they would be on the mainland area, which is obvious really for most people. So I'm not telling you how to suck eggs, most of you get that anyway. But what we would always do is go to eat at certain different places. We found a lot of, there's just an abundance of them, what you want, you know. So getting about, you know, I had a motorcycle, they never had a car. We used to go out on that, and Lisa had a quad, a Yamaha Grizzly, and she used to get about on that. And there's only really, the island's only 7 kilometres by 3 kilometres. And so we would go out on the bikes at night time, and the trouble with that is it's pretty much one road that goes from one end of the island down to the other end of the island. So being you've got a lot of tourists there and a lot of expats that live there, obviously the traffic was just sometimes crazy, and you'd be coming back at night and there'd be drunk people on the road and just people walking along the road, you know, not giving a two monkeys about whether they get run over or not. It was a little bit crazy in that. So you've always had to have your wits about you, which you still do in Thailand, because as I said, if a lot of you know, I do road trips, and I mean we're in our 13th year now, and so I've done quite a lot of miles on different bikes since I've lived in Thailand, and you've got to have your wits about you wherever you ride or drive in Thailand. But overall excuse me, overall it was a great place to retire to, but that was all we knew from the get-go. You know, we moved there, we made a home there, we rented there for 5 years, and it was great, it was fantastic. But I had a piece of advice from my friend Kevin a long time ago when we was at Maya Bar in Koh Tao, and he said, you know, in 5 years time Koh Tao might not be the place you want to live. And at the time we were like, cheers Kev for that, but it didn't really correlate, you know, it didn't sink in. And then after 5 years, I mean, we used to do, and we always found that the people seemed to be, to us, this is to us, right? All what I'm saying is about my experience and what I felt about it. Some of you may have a different view of it. we always felt that the Thais were a little bit more friendlier on the mainland. So we used to come back again after the road trips and stuff, and really enjoyed it. And as I said, lo and behold, 5 years later, I had what I think we were thinking of it anyway. We were looking at Chumpon, to be honest, because I had a couple of friends in Chumpon. But we were thinking about the idea of moving to mainland. Then, and unfortunately, I had a motocross bike as well, a proper motocross bike. And a friend of mine, who's no longer with us, he had a motocross track by his house that he built, and he used to race in motocross in Thailand. And I had a motocross accident there, and I ended up with concussion. I ended up the Long Prior over to Samui, and ended up in hospital there for all the regular doodahs. So I think that was the key turning point for us, because my wife Lisa, she said to me once I got back and everything was okay, touch wood, she said to me, I'm not doing this anymore. She said, you need to sell your motocross bike, and also we need to think about where we live. And it was a very, very valid point, to be honest with you, because God forbid, if anything had happened, we were stuck on an island. And another good friend of mine contacted Lisa and said, if there's going to be an issue, it's going to be 2 or 3 days later. So go now, because if there is an issue 2 or 3 days later, you still got to get off the island. And sometimes on the island, if the weather's that bad, you ain't going nowhere, The ferry shut down and stuff like that. And then if you're looking at a private boat, I mean, I was part of rescue there for 2.5 years. They've got a speedboat, but it's still going to cost you stuff to get over to the mainland. Anyway, that never happened. So that was most probably the poignant moment when we thought, hey, I think it's time to leave Koh Tao, albeit we've still got great friends there. We had a great time there, thoroughly enjoyed it, we had some crazy moments there and some awesome moments there, and it's a beautiful island despite what people say. We love it there, never once felt threatened there or felt uneasy there, as we still don't feel that way in Thailand now. We still feel it's a great place to live. So that's the Koh Tao bit, okay? I'm saying, guys, that obviously we lived on an island about getting off of it, but there's a lot of tourist areas in Thailand that isn't an island, but they are on the mainland, so you will have access to, more maybe government hospitals, more medical centres, and more international hospitals, So I'm just saying from our point of view there. And also for me, I think that a lot of people, when they move to Thailand permanently, they think about their days when they've been on holiday here. It's a totally different thing. If you're going to move to Thailand, in your mindset, it's not on a holiday. It's going to be living here permanently. It's a different ball game. Like I said in one of my retirement videos some time ago, it's a totally different mindset from coming here on holiday and actually moving here, because the first initial time you get here, you're retired, you think, oh yeah, a few beers, have a giggle, stay up late and stuff, and in the end, you see, that can and most probably will wear off. Unless, if you're going to spend all your time in the bars, that's where all your money, most of your money's going to go. And in the end, you can't continue that over a long period of time because of your health anyway. If you keep drinking every day, then it's only going to go one way, isn't it, really? It's not going to be good. So you need to get your mindset around that you're going to move here. I mean, we live in our house and we love it here like you would where you're living now. You don't go out every night for dinner, you're not drinking every night. Maybe you are. Hey, if you are, fair play, totally up to you. Your prerogative. But all I'm saying is you need to think it really hard about your living here full time. And then that determines maybe where you want to live. Because we live in the lovely little... Oh, hang on a second, that's the kettle. So guys, cheers, got me coffee. So as I said, I know I keep on about it. Living here and being here on holiday is a totally different ballgame. If you come here on holiday a lot and you think, yeah, I could live this lifestyle, you can't. Right, not for the longevity of your life, really. It's just going to be crazy. Moving here full time, for us is where we lived on the island for 5 years, and we're on the mainland now. we want to dip into that tourist area. Like Khao Lak is 50 minutes away, Ao Nang is an hour and a half away, Phuket Gateway is 40 minutes away, so into the town about an hour, hour and a half. So we can dip in and dip out of it when we want to. But 99% of the time we spend here in Phang Nga because it's a beautiful place to stay. It's peaceful, very Thai. This is the way to live your life, guys. Guys, let's get on to living in a typically Thai town, and we live in a little village off of the town. So, what does it like living here in Phang Nga? One, for sure, there's not so many foreigners around, which obviously what that brings is you don't have a lot of foreigner restaurants. Not saying that they're not here, they are, but there isn't in an abundance as there would be saying Khao Lak, purely because there isn't a call for it, is there? Because being there's not so many foreigners here, Phalangs, you don't need that massive amount of tourism. And also, Phang Nga town, I mean, our claim to fame here most probably is Phang Nga Bay, James Bond Island, and on the way to Phuket is Samat Nan Si. So that's in Phang Nga province, and that's the capital of Phang Nga province. There's some fantastic restaurants here. The Phang Nga town, and it's just an abundance of restaurants really. The only Western restaurants that we've got here are the KFC and the Pizza Hut up at the PTT station. Got a Dairy Queen. That's sort of the only Western influence we've got here really. And for me, I prefer that because, as I said earlier, I can dip into Khao Lak, I can dip into Ao Nang, I can go to Phuket if I want to get that fix. But where I actually live is so quiet and it's beautiful. We've got some fantastic Thai friends that help us out, and on the downside of it obviously is and we've got some fantastic friends that help us out immensely. We speak a little bit more Thai now than we did when we were on Koh Tao. Not an awful lot, but our friends help us out immensely. And again, that's another, you know, like look, trying to weigh up the Phang Nga and the trying to weigh up a Thai town, non-tourist town, and a tourist town. Obviously, in a tourist town, there's going to be more people that speak English. But say I've been here 12 years, and you know, I've not gone without anything. You know, I've always got what I needed to get. And I say, and when there's cases of you know, we don't know what we've got to do, where we got to get it, I ask my friends here, and they're very helpful, and they always say, you come ask us because we help you out, and they do immensely. Fantastic. As some of you just see on the a few little snippets on my Bad Badger Facebook page, when we was in Songkran, we went with the guys, we was the only Westerners there really, and it was good. I mean, I did do some footage. For some particular reason it just wouldn't load up onto my laptop, so I don't know why it didn't work. So there was only a bit on my Bad Badger Retired in Thailand Facebook page, so there's a little bit on there if you want to check that out. So yeah, so weighing up the two really, for me and my wife, I think really that what we prefer is living in a quiet place, because as I said earlier, you know, you're not on holiday, you're living here full time, and you know, the razzmatazz of Thailand may suck you in as such, but when you've got to live here full time, then it's a different life I think you've got to lead. You know, so we've got the lovely peaceful, look behind me, you know, I know Krabi's beautiful, and all of Thailand is beautiful, you can see behind me. It's just, you know, like an amazing, stunning place, Thailand. And Phang is, as I say, it's a big city. It's a typical Thai town, you know, like long in length as you come in and out. But it's just beautiful. Phang Nga province, I think, is a forgotten province. It's got everything Thailand's got to offer. You know, mountains like behind me. It's got beaches, as in Khao Lak, and stuff like that. It's got everything that you need. And so I think where we actually live is central for those places if we want to go and do this. And we can go down south, we can go anywhere we want to really. So to sort of weigh it all up, there's pluses for living in a tourist town, and there's minuses, as there is living in a Thai town. You know, for me, I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. Thailand is a beautiful place. Where I live in a little village called Tam Nam Phut, which is like a couple of minutes from the town, and it's quiet. You know, it's just lovely, and it's it's like England 40-50 years ago, you know. They'll look out for you, they'll always do you a favour. People are smiling all the time. And you know, if you go into a restaurant, we go in 3 or 4 different restaurants, albeit there must be, I don't know, 200, 300, 400 restaurants here, maybe more. We stick to what we like because we know what we're going to get, and I'm sure all the food in Thailand, it's very rare you'll get a really bad meal, because otherwise the Thais just wouldn't eat there. And you know, this is not unlike any other Thai town or smaller town or bigger town or smaller village. The food's fantastic and the people are lovely, and I love living here. They welcome me. As I say, when we moved here, first of all, Rescue helped me, because I volunteered for Rescue here until the unit shut down, and they helped me integrate into Panga and meet everybody through Rescue and stuff, and I made some great friends, still great friends with them now, and they've helped us out massively, absolutely massively. And you can see on my channel where you look at Toe and Sager and Come, they do a bit of cooking and stuff like that, so you know, it's a great life. All in all, I would prefer the quiet life, because you can always dip out of it, you know. And we live in our house, as you know. If you want to live in the tourist towns, then to dip out and get quiet, you've got to dip out the other way like we have. But I like to live in my house, chill out there, and then go, if I fancy a couple of nights away or a night away for a birthday, anniversaries, or we've got family or friends over and we go away and we enjoy it, and it's great. So there is pluses and minuses on wherever you live in Thailand, but what I would always say is make sure that, you know, don't jump in with both feet. You know, decide whether you want beach or whether you want jungle, whether you want mountains, and then go and live there for 3 or 4 months, you know. Test it out. We rented for 5 years, you know, and test it all out until you find your piece of paradise.